Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. This week, I'm going to answer a question that was asked by somebody via YouTube. And thank you so much to the person that asked that question. So the question was, how do I detach from someone emotionally? And the very simple answer to that question is that all energy is momentum. It forms streams of momentum. And if you want to change anything in your life, it's really a case of changing that momentum and channeling that momentum into a different area or direction in your life. So that's a habit. Anything that happens over and over again and builds momentum, we can also call a habit. And thinking about one person all the time or being involved in some way with one person all the time is a habit in the sense that you have directed energy there over and over. And once you do that over a period of time, that direction of energy into that specific area builds up its own momentum and is a force or an impulse that you will feel to go there. So simply changing the direction. How to do that is a more complicated answer. One of the most important things to know is that you cannot simply stop a habit or a direction of energy instantly through a force of will. Not because you're not powerful, but because you built up that stream of energy through your own force of will over time, and it gained a power, and you cannot stop that instantly. What you can do is redirect it somewhere else. So the first thing I would do is start by asking yourself what it is that you want from that interaction, or rather why you decided to channel and direct energy there in the first place. Meaning, if it's a person, what kind of things did you expect to get from an interaction or from thinking about that person? And take those things and redirect energy into that somewhere else. So let's say that you wanted to have fun and excitement in your life, and this person came into your life and provided, in your mind, provided that for you. Of course, you have to draw something into your life energetically first. So nothing can come into your life unless you've created a space for it. So you really created that. But what will happen is, because we're so externally driven, we're so externally focused, is that when we create a space for something in our life and that thing comes into our life, whatever it is, it might be a person, a job, or whatever, we think that that thing that came in is what caused us to feel a certain way. And that is never the case. It's always us that created that feeling and that energetic space which drew that thing in. So if you have a situation where there's a person and you believe that that person is providing you something, and that's the only person that can provide you something, that belief is just not grounded in accuracy in how the energetic world works. And the energetic world creates the physical world. So separating your emotions from that person is the number one step to you being able to deal with your energy, because you think that it's tied up in that person, but it's really not. So if that's person, if you believe that that person is providing you something positive, then figuring out what that is and moving in towards yourself and figuring out how you can provide that for yourself and what other situations and places you can get that, and then channeling and directing your energy towards getting that or providing a space for that to come into your life in other ways is what you would do. So that's about taking control of your own energy and understanding your own power in creating. Often what happens is we get caught up in our minds that specific things, specific jobs or specific amount of money or specific people is what we need to create something in our lives. And that's never ever the case, because we are always the creator of our lives and we brought that person into our life in the first place. So that is how I would handle it if you have someone that you think is providing your only source of pleasure in some area. Now, if you have a person that you feel connected to where it's not a pleasant situation, a lot of that is actually the same answer, but it's a little bit more complicated. When you have some kind of energy directed somewhere and you're getting back what you don't want, there's always in the core of that some kind of desire for something that you want, but you don't believe that you can get. So it is being pushed out into the world in a way that is providing you the opposite of what you're getting back. So, for instance, you want freedom and you want to move forward, and you want something, but in your mind, you don't believe that you can have those things. And in your mind, this person is preventing you from getting what you want. So that could be a situation where it's a boss, or it's an ex, or it is some kind of person that you think is preventing you from getting what you want. So in that case, it's going back and looking at that situation in a different light and trying to figure out, okay, what is it that I really want and how can I create it? And once you do that, you can detach pretty quickly from that person, because you then start to see that they're not really in control of your emotions and your desires and the outcome of your life as much as at all in the way that you thought that they were. Now, if your momentum is very strong and you have created a very strong momentum towards that person, believing that they have some kind of power over you or your life that they don't have, it can be very difficult to do that. And you don't necessarily have to figure all of this out with your mind. If you're in a place where that comes easily to you, that could be a good technique to use. And then you redirect it somewhere else, that desire. If you're not in a place where you can do that yet, don't force it. That will make things worse. If you're in a place where it is taking a lot of your focus, or you're giving a lot of your focus there because of the energy you've built up, the best thing that you can do is just start to focus somewhere else energetically and build energy up in that area no matter what it is. So start feeling good in other areas. And really what you want to do is spend as little time focusing on whatever area you don't want in your life. It's truly that simple. It is that simple. However, because of the beliefs we have built up in our minds, sometimes it takes getting over those beliefs. So a lot of this is about understanding your own power. And we so often believe that other people have power over us or our lives that they just don't. So it's about taking back that ownership of your life. And that will happen when you start putting things in your life that you're creating, and they're providing things for you that you want to see in your life. So just at the start, if that momentum and energy is very strong, doing other things that make you feel good and that make you realize that you have the power and ability to create what you want. And as you do that, those things will start to have more draw for you energetically. You'll build up that momentum and that energy stream, and that will naturally take your focus more and more away from this other thing. And a lot of times what happens is we do not figure out the reasons and the beliefs that we were attached to that person until long after we have changed our focus and have built other things up in our life. And that's perfectly fine. Sometimes it takes a year or 2 or 3 years, and you may be walking down the street and suddenly get this realization, oh, that's what was going on in that relationship. You don't have to figure it out with your mind, so don't push yourself to do that if you're not ready. Okay, I think that's all I can say about that topic for now. Thank you so much for listening, and hope to see you again later.